Hello, Year 6. I hope that you're all safe and well and that you managed to get out and play in the snow yesterday. So exciting. And that you enjoyed all of the work that I set, using the 4 operations in fractions and using BIDMAS, and the new topic, City of Silence. How did you get on with those abstract nouns? I hope that you enjoyed them. And what about learning all about Mozart as well? Did you get on with the quiz okay? I hope so. Well, today is Tuesday, so what are we going to be doing today? Well, today we're going to start with maths, and we are looking at fractions of amounts. Now, I know that you're going to do very well at this because it's a form of multiplication which we did last week. So we are revisiting the strategies that we used last week. So I know that you're going to be absolute superstars when doing this. So as always, click on the link on the Maths White Rose Hub, okay, and follow the video, and then have a go at the first sheet. And then if you're feeling confident enough, have a go at the second challenge sheet as well. Just do what you can because you're brilliant. All right, I just want to give an example of fractions of amount before you get started today, okay? So when you are looking at fractions of amount, this is the type of question that you might get, okay? I'm going to do a few examples this morning, and this one's quite a simple one, and we're going to get a little bit harder. So here what we're looking at is 1/5 of 30, okay? Now, when you're doing fractions and it says of, that is the same as a multiplication. So you've got to change that word of to a multiplication. And then you just follow it as you would a normal multiplication. So now do you see what I mean? That you're going to find this quite easy to do because we've done all of this before, all right? So just change that of to a multiplication. So then we change it to 1/5, and we know that 30 as a fraction is 30 over 1. So we say 1/5 times 30 over 1. And we said last week that there was 2 strategies that we could use. We could either simplify before we do the sum, or we could simplify after. So today, first of all, we're going to simplify beforehand. So I'm using my 5 times table, and I'm saying that there's 1 5 in 5, there's 6 5s in 30, so then I can simplify those 2 fractions, and then I do the multiplication as normal. So 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 1 is 1, you get 6 over 1 as a fraction. We're going to make that into a whole number, which makes it 6. Now remember last week I said there was 2 strategies that you could use. You could simplify afterwards. So that's the other example that I've given on this sheet. So you could say 1 times 30 is 30, 1 times 5 is 5, and then we're going to make that into a whole number. So we're going to divide 30 by 5, which makes 6. All right, brilliant. Okay, now that was quite simple, wasn't it? But you're going to get some more difficult ones today. Something like this. Okay, here we have got 5/6 of 30. So we want to find 5/6 of 30. So what's the first thing we do? We've got that word of. What do we change it to? Yes, you're right. We change it to a multiplication sign, okay? So 5/6 multiplied by 30 over 1. We've changed that 30 to a fraction, 30 over 1. And I am going to use that strategy 1 for the multiplication again. I'm going to simplify before we do the question, okay? So I'm using my 6 times table this time. So I say 1 6 is 6, so I simplify the 6. And then how many times does 6 go into 30? It goes in 5 times. Brilliant. So now we can do the multiplication. 5 times 5 is 25. 1 times 1 is 1, so it's 25 over 1. And we want to change that to a whole number, don't we? So we say 25 divided by 1 is 25. And there we've got the answer. Now, some of you might not want to do it that way. You might want to use strategy 2. So here we go. We're going to do the multiplication first. We're going to say 5 times 30. 150. Bigger numbers here, year 6. And then we're going to say 1 times 6 is 6. That's 150 over 6. We want to make it to a whole number, so we're going to simplify. We're going to say 150 divided by 6 is 25. Both ways we get the same answer. So whichever strategy you want to use, you can use that. I hope that's making sense, Year 6. Shall I give you one more example before you can get started? Okay. Here we have got another one. So we have got 2/3 of 36. So I'm looking at that question, I'm looking at that of, and I'm going to change it to a multiplication sign. Okay, so 2/3 times 36 over 1. We've changed that 36 to a fraction, okay? I'm going to simplify before I multiply them this time again. So I'm going to use my 3 times table this time. So 1 into 3 is 1. And then 3 into 36 is 12. All right. So, I said that wrong then, sorry. 3 divided by 3 is 1. I got it the wrong way around. Excuse me, Year 6. I'm sure you heard that. So, we are then going to multiply 2 by 12, okay, is 24. And then we're going to do the 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. So 24 over 1 is 24. Some of you might not want to do it that way. You might want to use a second strategy where we simplify afterwards. So let's have a go at that one. So we're going to multiply 2 by 36, which is 72. And then we're going to say 3 by 1 is 3. We're going to make that into a whole number by saying 72 divided by 3, which is 24. Can you see what I mean when I said last week, if you want to multiply it before you get the answer, then the problem is you are going to start getting larger numbers and more difficult divisions when you're simplifying. So just bear that in mind. I always find it easier to simplify before I do the multiplication, but you might want to do it afterwards, which is absolutely fine. But we are getting bigger numbers, so just make sure that you don't make any mistakes with those larger numbers. Okay. Get the same answer for both, so you decide which one that you use. Right, so that's your maths. I hope that you enjoy that. And now we're going to move on to English. So I hope you've still got your work with those abstract nouns and those places on it, because today we are going to do activity 3 and activity 4. So activity 3 on page 6, okay? And it is called making your first combinations. So you need to have on hand your work from yesterday, please. And what you're going to do, first of all, for this activity is you're going to put your combinations together. So you know you made your list of abstract nouns and you know you put your places into categories. I want you to put those together. So we've got some examples on here of some that have been put together. For example, the Church of Love, the Village of Dreams, the Station of Pain. Oh my goodness, that sounds a bit scary, doesn't it? The Tunnel of Hope, the River of Anxiety. So can you see, by putting those together, those combinations together, we're getting some really exciting sentences started here, okay? So for this activity, I would like you to make a list, putting all of your combinations together. And if you can think of some more, of course, add those. I want you to do as many as possible. So get those imaginations running wild. Think of those places, think of those abstract nouns and put those together and create a list. It's a lovely example on there as well. Then what I would like you to do is activity 4. Now, after reading some of your stories from the door, your portal stories, you are fantastic at using alliteration. You are brilliant. So I think this activity is really going to suit you all, okay? And it's such fun. So what you're going to do now is you're going to try some alliteration now. So you're going to use abstract nouns and places, but you're going to use the same letters for both. You're going to use alliteration. So again, there is an example on page 7, okay? So here we have got the Temple of Terror, the motorway of mischief. Don't they sound so exciting? I already want to read about them, Year 6. And the fairground of fear. Oh my goodness, my heart will start racing again. Okay, so you have got some alliteration examples there as well. So then what I would like you to do is write a list of alliteration. So of those abstract nouns with the places, but alliteration, okay? So I really hope that you enjoy doing that and get those imaginations and that wonderful vocabulary working as well. So that's your morning session. Now, I forgot to tell you yesterday, but you'll have seen on the School Life page already, I know, and Mr. Pennicutt has set you some more Education City tasks this week. It was lovely to see that a lot of you, most of you, went on to Education City last week and were revising fractions. I hope that you enjoyed that. So Mr. Pennicutt has set some more fraction work this week to help you revise, okay? So if you've got time, under no obligation, you don't have to do it, but if you would like to do it, log on to Education City and do those fraction activities as well. Brilliant. Well done, Year 6. Okay, and then, because it's Tuesday, we are going to do PSHE, and I've got a lovely, lovely lesson for you this afternoon. It's about our achievements and our goals, okay? So we're really thinking about what are our achievements so far? And I think it's a wonderful thing to do when we're in Year 6, because it's already, with everything that's happening, it's a time of change for you all. But also next year is going to be a time of change. So it's important for us to start thinking about these things and think about what we've achieved so far, not only in school, but at home also, outside of school as well. So I want you to really start thinking, and I've got some wonderful examples on the PowerPoint, so have a look through the PowerPoint for me, okay? And then what you're going to think about is your goals. What do you want to achieve in the future? So I want you to think really carefully about what you want to achieve in the future. And on the tasks that I'd like you to do, so on slide 7, it says on a post-it note to do it, but if you haven't got a post-it note, that doesn't matter, just write it down on a piece of paper. But what I want you to do from slide 7 is to write about what are your proudest achievements, okay? So think really carefully about what are your proudest achievements. All right, and then I'd like you to think about your goals for the future. All right, so what are you? So just write brief notes about what are your proudest achievements and what are your goals for the future. And then you'll see a photo frame on slide 8, and I'd like you to decorate it, and I'd like you to draw a picture in that picture frame. So it could be one, it could be many of your proudest achievements, okay? And I'd like you to label those. I'm sure you'll all like that because we know that you are great artists, okay? And then on slide 9, there's a table for you to fill in, for you to think a little bit more about your achievements and your goals. So it's breaking it down a little bit. So if you could answer those, that would be great. So that's your day's learning. I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful day and you enjoy all of the work that I've set for you. And remember, you're all absolute superstars, and I'm so proud of everything that you are doing. You're brilliant. Okay, Year 6. So have a great day and take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.